You're trying to save me, stop holding your breath. And you think I'm crazy, yeah, you think I'm crazy.
Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese, and for today's video we are going to explore astral projection, our astral body, our physical body, what the difference is between them, and how through your astral body you can explore different dimensions. I had asked you guys on Twitter what video you wanted to see from me today because this one was a spontaneous, I need to film today, I want to get another video up, and popular vote voted astral projection, which is really exciting for me because I have so many personal experiences surrounding this and so much to talk about. But before we get into this, I just want to say, as per usual, if you are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed, hello, my name is Hailey. I would love it if you do enjoy my videos that you go ahead, click the subscribe button. I do post a ton of videos and I don't want you to miss when I upload, so please do that. Now let's get into astral projection. So we all have and are aware of our physical body, obviously, but what not everyone is aware of is that we actually have an astral body. I actually refer to it as my soul even when I'm talking about things like this to people in my day-to-day life, but for the purpose of this video and the fact that we are talking about astral projection, I'll refer to it as an astral body. So today I'm going to talk about astral projection, I'm going to talk about out-of-body experiences, and how through astral projection you can travel to different dimensions, the astral realm, or even just anywhere here on Earth while leaving your physical body. Astral projection is basically just one of the most powerful forms of out-of-body experiences. Basically what happens is one's soul leaves their physical body, separates from the physical body, and heads to the astral planes, where they can travel across the globe, they can travel to different environments, they can literally observe the environment in which their physical body is still placed. They can even travel beyond the concept of time. Now, if you're wondering what an out-of-body experience is, an out-of-body experience typically happens when somebody, or most commonly happens when somebody experiences a near-death experience. There have been countless cases of people in times of trauma, illness, surgery, and near-death experiences in general. The difference between an out-of-body experience and astral projection most primarily is that astral projection is typically a choice. Astral projection is typically done with intention, and people with astral projection do it through intention. They choose to travel to these different dimensions, these different planes, and they know how to safely do so. Now, a common misconception about astral projection, typically amongst the religious community, is that you are open to possession while entering the astral planes. People feel that when your soul or your astral body leave your physical body, that you are suddenly more open to entities taking control of your soul. However, those who practice astral projection truly believe that your astral body is connected to your physical body by a silver cord, and that during astral projection you are well aware that your soul or your astral body are connected to your physical body. Now, my grandpa, when he was dying, had, I believe, what is an out-of-body experience. However, what he experienced is very similar to what those who practice astral projection experience, so it's kind of up for debate into which category it falls into. For those of you who don't know, my grandpa suffered from cancer and he actually passed away, and my grandpa was also a very religious, very spiritual man. I mean, he's married to my grandma and you guys have met her, so he had to have some sort of a belief. Typically though, my grandpa wasn't one to talk about it. Very rarely was he out there speaking his beliefs and talking about his experiences. That just wasn't the type of man that he was. He was more, reserved and quiet about things like that. However, this experience that he shared with my grandma and my family is just truly incredible, so I can't wait to share it with you guys right now. Basically, my grandpa was in the hospital and he was having surgery. And at this time, he was on so many medications. This was kind of nearing the end of the road for him. It wasn't quite the end. He still had time left, but it was nearing that spiral where he was just heading downhill towards what ultimately was the end of his life. So if any of you know anybody who's at that point with cancer, you know how the medication just kind of takes over, and the amount of medication that he was on had him in and out of consciousness quite often. So leading up to the surgery, he was really out of it. He wasn't really aware of where he was. I'm not even sure if he was really aware that he was at the hospital. So they wheel him in for surgery and everything goes well. My grandma's really nervous because this surgery was extremely risky, especially with the way that his vitals and levels were at this point in time. And when he's wheeled back out and regains his consciousness, he tells my grandma the most shocking thing. He proceeds to tell my grandma how well he was being operated on. He floated out of his body, he saw them operating on him, and he floated 4 floors. How he floated up, and how the roof of the hospital opened up and he floated up past the universe into the sky, up into the most beautiful, beautiful environment. And all that he saw around him was this big white light. He said he didn't hear anything, he didn't see anybody else, but all he felt was this sense of peace. And he felt this sense of serenity and love and purity. He said that it felt as though time stopped when he was in this beautiful white bright light, and that he felt like he was really with God. All of a sudden, he said that he felt it was his time to return back to Earth, so very, very slowly he floated back down through the universe, back down towards the hospital. The roof of the hospital opened back up for him again. He floated down the 4 floors. He saw them operating on him again, and he felt his soul go back into his body. And that was when he woke up with my grandma. Well, all of a sudden, my grandma's eyes just filled with so many tears, and she uncontrollably sobs because the operating room of this hospital was 4 floors below the roof. People could argue that my grandpa knew this, but I know and my family knows that there is no chance in the world that he knew what floor that OR was on. First of all, he wasn't even aware that he was at the hospital. Second of all, it was his first surgery at this particular hospital. Third of all, he was so out of it when he had first gotten to the hospital. Like I said, he wasn't aware that he was there, and he wasn't observant or coherent. So my family was ultimately convinced that he had had an outer body experience. The reason that I say this is kind of similar to an experience of astral projection is because he traveled to another dimension, another time and space where time basically stopped. However, because it was a near-death experience, or whatever you want to categorize that as, and it was not intentional, he had not done it with intention, I believe it falls under the out-of-body experience category. Where I have had experience with astral projection, and I'm going to touch on that briefly in this video. I can definitely do multiple story times on this because this was something that occurred so many times when I was a child. The very first time that I ever experienced like an out-of-body experience or an astral projection, I would have had to have been like maybe 8 years old. I can't specify, to be honest with you guys. I remember the memory, I don't remember the age. I just know that I was young, but I wasn't young. And I remember that I had woken up from a dream. But when I looked back into my bed, I could see my physical body laying there sleeping. I stood up and I walked around my bed and I could still see my physical body sleeping. It was like the world was in an alternate state. The craziest part about this was all of a sudden my cat was there, because I had a cat when I was growing up, and my cat is standing next to me, but we look over and my cat's physical body was sleeping. Nothing like extraordinary happened in this astral projection, out-of-body experience, or dream, whatever you want to call it. But all I remember from that first experience was that I could acknowledge the fact that my physical body was laying there and my astral body, or my soul, was out of it. Now, skeptics can definitely argue that that is a dream. I could have most certainly dreamt that I had sat up and dreamt that my physical body was there, but this happened to me a lot. With that being said though, I will also agree with the skeptical side and say that I am a very, very vivid dreamer. I get so many messages through my dreams. I experience so many things through my dreams. Dreaming to me is like my #1 communication with the spirit world and energies and all of that. So I don't know, you guys. I believe and I know that I definitely have out-of-body experiences, and I have quite a few times, but I have not learned how to astral project with intention. I actually looked into it just recently, and I thought that that would be a really cool thing to explore, but I haven't done astral projection with intention, and it's been a hot minute since I actually had that out-of-body experience. I think that a lot of people's biggest fears when it comes to out-of-body experiences and astral projection is that they will leave their physical body and not be able to find their way back to it. But if you do your research on it, they say that your soul and your astral body always knows where it belongs and will always find its way back, and there are many methods that people have developed that efficiently help them get back to their body the minute that they choose to do so. I've heard so many miracles when it comes to small children or even just people in general who have actually like went and met their angels, met their spirit guides, met their deceased loved ones through out-of-body experiences. Most primarily those though do have to do with comas or have to do with near-death experiences. A lot of people have stated that they left their physical bodies while they were in a coma, and they were physically there with the people in the room, and they were actually not even in their body in the time of the coma, but they were actually physically out of it. I just said actually so many times. I'm so sorry, you guys. So while yes, there are a lot of people who do this intentionally, there are people who experience it naturally and who just have these experiences without even attempting it. Well, you guys, that is all that I have to say today on astral projection and out-of-body experiences. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below what you guys think of these theories. What do you think of my stories that have to do with it? I was just really excited to share this with you guys because this is something that really fascinates me and I've had firsthand experiences with. I encourage you guys, if you're interested in it, to look into people's out-of-body experiences and experiences with astral projection and just kind of explore the theory further if you're skeptical, or even if you do enjoy researching it. There is so much to learn about this subject, and I know that you guys will just dive head on into it. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. I post a ton of videos and I don't want you to miss when I upload. And please give this video a big thumbs up. It makes my heart super happy. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until next time, love you.